one of the key elements is willpower, energy, and understanding how we act. This has been a crucial and game-changing fundamental understanding. And it comes from two areas. And I'm going to talk about them extremely briefly because I know you want all the details of this year's challenge. But I suppose this segment would typically be the book of the week segment in what will be our normal show. But this week, as we prep for the challenge and as I announce all the details of the challenge, there's a couple of things that we've learnt and simply did not exist in 2005 that can really fundamentally change the game. Now, the first thing I want to bring up here is this little thing here. This little thing here. This one right here. And I turn it. Boom. This is a Colby result. Now, this thing costs about $49. I haven't got an affiliate link or any associate. I absolutely work with the Colby Group after what we discovered and what it has meant for entrepreneurs. But this Colby A Index, which is, as I say, it's a $49 charge, so it's two good books, right? This has been dramatic in terms of understanding this key fundamental. So many of us, and I know for a fact, so many of you on this broadcast tonight have been brought up to work on your weaknesses. So you have strengths, but you almost put those to one side because our education system and everything we've been taught is to acknowledge where we're weak and to work on those. And if the one most profound statement, and the reason I think there's never been a better time to be alive than starting a business right now, is that you should just focus on your strengths. Just focus on your strengths, because there's never been a better time to find team members, and you'll see my very broad concept of a team as we go through the challenge. It could be somebody you hire on Fiverr, right? It could be a mastermind partner. It could be anybody. But there's never been a better time to find people to work with who are strong in areas where you're weak. And what's awesome about the Colby result, I'm not a huge fan of these environmental, emotional quotient, IQ tests, Myers-Briggs, all of these personality style tests. Not a huge fan because they're interesting, but I don't find them to be really useful from an action perspective. And the amazing thing about a Colby Index result is it's got nothing to do with your personality, got nothing to do with your emotions, and it's got everything to do with pure and simply how you act and what takes you the least amount of energy to act. And that is what's so powerful. You can see my index. There's no good or bad result, by the way. If you are listening to this broadcast, guess what? You are qualified to be an entrepreneur. Because there's no way 95% of people on the planet wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes of this broadcast. Okay? They just wouldn't have. But because you are listening right now, I know for a fact you want to start a business. You have the entrepreneurial spirit in you. We understand that. We get that. And what's amazing is that you have the ability to go through all of these elements, and you have the ability to be able to understand how you work and how, most importantly, you act. And why is this so important for the challenge? Why is this so amazing? And why do I think this is such a brilliant thing for you to go through right now? The reason I think it's so important is because this teaches you how you act and what takes the least amount of energy. Let me give you a classic example. Okay, let me just come back to me for a second. Me doing what I'm doing now, okay, talking on video to you guys and running all the tech behind doing all this is as easy as falling off a log for me. It is something I am naturally good at. It's something I feel really comfortable doing. I don't need a script in front of me. Yet, I know for a fact, and I'll explain how I know for a fact, 35% of you watching right now would rather punch themselves in the face then do what I'm doing. Does that mean you are never going to make it as an online business entrepreneur or a business entrepreneur or start up your own thing? No, absolutely not. You just have to approach it a different way. For example, blog posts. To me, you want to see me break out in a sweat? You want to see me, right, stress, and you want to see me procrastinate and get me to write a blog post, right? Writing. I failed English in high school, for goodness sake. It is just not me. It's just not me. I've written some blog, and here's the problem with me and a lot of you. Is I've written some great blog posts, if I do say so myself, some that have been viewed by literally millions of people, which is astounding given my complete lack of, and anybody who's read one of my emails will know what I'm talking about. But I thought, I've got to do blog posts. I've got to, because that's important, right? I've got to work on my weakness. I've got to work. And I've done 30-minute writing sessions a day for a year. I've done all this. I have forced myself to do this stuff. And the amazing thing about Colby, the absolutely astounding thing about Colby, is that it tells me that I'm okay, that's cool. And actually, freakily, it absolutely tells me, and apparently you're hearing Kathy, so sorry about that, but this report, which is sort of like a book, it's that it tells me, like, and this is freaky, if you're reading this stuff, and I'll pause, Kathy, if you're reading this stuff, right, this is me. It's a freak show. And why do I know this is good? Why am I so passionate about it? Why would I get you to spend $49? You don't have to spend $49 because I'm going to tell you the 3 profiles, right, of entrepreneurs that take the challenge. And I'll tell you why I knew this in a sense. But this is freaky. This is free. Like, look, read this stuff. How does she know this about me? This is freak show material. I don't get it, right? It is amazing. So, all of these things, create shortcuts. Yeah, follow through. By the way, approximately 60% of you are in the 6 or under when it comes to follow through, which raises some interesting things. Have you ever tried outsourcing and not been a good thing? This is why. These are the sorts of revelations that you get when you understand this thing. Okay, how do I know all of this? How do I know? Okay, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. And those of you who've been following along closely, you'll know about this. Last year, at the end of the last year, and the reason, frankly, that I'm doing the new challenge now as opposed to when I should have, was because of all of this. Because I realised that, hang on, if people take action in different ways, if I'm telling you to shoot a sales video as part of your challenge, I'm telling you to do that, and you are of the type of action profile, which 35% of you are, I know for a fact, then the challenge is a waste of time for 35% of you. And I'm here to make the challenge as relevant as possible to you. I want to make it work to you. You personally, listening to this. So I had to change everything. Because now I understand, and every private client that I work with that pays me $5,000 a month to work with them, I get them to take this test. Because I can then know, just by seeing this, and it's freaky, in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tests. Indeed, the largest field trial ever conducted of startup entrepreneurs, which was, guess what, drawn from challenges, people just like you. It has been absolutely fundamental. It has been absolutely fundamental to changing the way we work. Because once you understand how you work and you understand what your strengths are, guess what? It's about energy. And you talk about the other thing that we know, and the most massive change since 2005 is scientists have worked out how you work and what energy is possible and what energy is available to you. And it's a fuel tank, okay? The energy that you have available is a fuel tank. Your willpower is a fuel tank. And here's the deal. And don't worry, we go into this in the first week of the module. I'm just skirting it right now. But the first week of the challenge, we'll go into depth in this so you really understand this. But here's the deal. You have a fuel tank. And when you do something, say you're like for me for a blog, hey, when you floor a car and you can have a really inefficient car that sucks the fuel and gets the gas, That's what happens when you do something out of your character, out of your Colby Index. You withdraw that, you suck on that fuel even more, because it's like you need that much more energy, that much more power. You've got to floor the accelerator that much more to do what you need to do, because you think it's the most important thing to do. You think that just because, well, Ed's got a YouTube channel, so I should have a YouTube channel. No, you shouldn't. For 35% of you out there, YouTube channel is the last thing you should ever be doing, because it'll kill you. It'll kill you. But here's the best news. Never been a better time for you to be able to choose the method. There's never been more ways to reach your market and educate your market. You only need to have 1,000 true fans and you have a $100,000 business. And you do that over 12 months. That's astounding, right? When you think about that, that is astounding, okay? And that's why my book of the week is the Colby Index.